Greetings, mortals. I am Natus, the ruler of the underworld. The end of the week is upon us, so it's time that we talk about some manga chapters. And today we'll be starting off with Peakness, with 100 girlfriends that really love you, chapter 198, titled The Theater of Filth and Violence. You know, it's kind of funny how this chapter is kind of not really focused that much on the ring when you break it down, but the title is very much a ring focused chapter, but whatever, it's just the nature of chapter titles. They rarely make 100% sense. But yeah. Anyways, let's start this chapter. Well, let's start this reaction to parts of these chapters off with how this chapter is with Rin, Uta, and Namu, the junior second years, all talking with one another, with Namu telling Uta and Rin about her new experience on the trails, because remember in the last daily life chapter, we had Namu experiencing a roller coaster and she managed to stay awake, so now she's kind of trying to find similar type of things to make us, well, basically to give herself thrills to keep awake. Which after Rin hears that, she gets an idea, but but Rin is kind of shy about it, so she doesn't voice her idea that popped into her head as she was listening to Namu talking. So yeah, I guess the people who try to figure out the timeline in 100 Girlfriends are going to now even have more of a headache, because now it's official that one of these chapters, on these daily lives is canon. Personally, I always just kind of thought it was really for the best if we just place these daily lives or dates or whatever chapters in the same with the same chapter as when they are like more selective girlfriends are interacting, because like outside of Namu not being present, Namu not being present, then because she's the newest girlfriend, you really could put some of these dates at any point in the timeline. It would kind of make sense. And I would say but that's a different discussion. Now it's on to this chapter. Now it's time to continue with the peakness of this chapter. But anyways, as Rin is kind of shutting herself up after hearing what Nemu said, Hakari, while she's playing with Kusuri, notices that Rin wanted to say something but didn't. So when they are, I'm guessing returning to class or going home or whatever they're going, we have Hakari stopping Rin, asking if she wanted to talk with Nemu, with Rin saying, oh yes, she wanted to, and ask her to go into the cinema with her because there's a new horror movie that came out, and she thought that horror movie would kind of satisfy Nemu's craving for thrills. So she thought about inviting her, but then she didn't want to invite her because what if she were to reject it? Or perhaps she would be pressured into going to the movies even though she wouldn't want to go into movies. You know, like Nemu isn't like the kind of girl that you would think would be into horror movies type of thing, so you don't want to make a bad impression, especially because you'll all be kind of you'll all be living together and you all interact with one another constantly. So it's like one of those, like you have to at least consider not to burn any bridges, you know. So Rin shot herself up basically. But yeah. Anyways, after that little interaction, we cut to Karane and we cut to Karane shopping as she's finding some little bow ties that look cute, but because it's Karane, she wouldn't want to put them on and test them to see because she would think they look weird. But fortunately for Karane, Namu in her sleep state shows up as she looks at some of the bows, that little accessories that Karane was looking at, and she puts one Karane. And basically saying, you cute, but because she's asleep, because, sleeping Namu, it's like, zzz. So, yeah, which embarrasses Karane a bit, and she has her tsundere fit. Like, it's not like this looks good on me. It's not like I'm thankful for you to putting it on me or anything. So, which wakes Namu up from her sleeping state, and it's at this moment we again get kind of reminded how big Nemu is for second grade junior, because Karana is also shown to be smaller than Nemu, which honestly I'm kind of I was like, I find it kind of funny how all the three second grade juniors look older and are bigger than Kurumi and Momiji, who are supposed to be 1 year older than them. I mean, Momochi's at least has the lolly excuse, but how does Kurumi look younger than three of her juniors? But anyways, when Karani in her tsundere state invites Nemo to go to buy them crepes, as Nemo is wondering if she upset Karane, but it's just she's just new to Karane. She's always like that. So Nemo just goes with Karane to get crepes because Karane invited her and said that it'd be her treat. Makes me think that, which now means that Karane didn't buy the bowl, but whatever. So, anyways, we have Karane and Namu walking to the crepe place as Namu looks at the horror movie, and Karane is like, "Oh, do you want to go watch that horror movie?" As Namu explains to her that she's seeking thrills, but it doesn't know if this movie is gonna help her to find this thrill because she's not really because whenever she wanted to watch a movie, she fell asleep. So there's a bit of a question about if it's even worth going to a horror movie and all that. And Karan advises Nemo to invite Rin because Rin would definitely want to go watch this type of horror movie. But Nemo but it says, well, basically it's the same thing as Rain, where, oh, she would thought about inviting Rain, but it would be kind of awkward to be the first one to invite because what if there's a miscommunication or, you know, pressure to go into a movie. But whatever. It's just a little minor little issue that he's gonna call for Karane and Hakai to be the senpais in the room, essentially. But which, as we were talking about that, we cut to at the night as we have Karane and Hakai surprisingly having a normal conversation as they're talking to each other on the phone. This got actually so unnerving having these two talk normally to each other in a very like I won't say respectful manner because Japanese has like the honorifics and all that, but they're kind of like, hey Hakari, Nemu wanted to invite Rin to go and to watch a movie, but she's kind of embarrassed about it. Do you have any advice on what we should do about that? And Hakari's like, yeah, Rin said want to invite Nemo as well, huh? Kind of weird. Wait, in the actual chapter, it was a bit more reversed because Nemo, because Kakai told to Karane that the Rin wanted Nemo to go to a whole movie, but she didn't want to because of peer pressure, and Karane said similar to from Nemo's viewpoint. Which this calls for the two of them. Well, Kai says, well, it seems like it's our job as their senpais to help our juniors out in this situation. I imagine that maybe Karana and them and Harai, because they still are like the two oldest mates, the two of them might be kind of feel like they're responsible to help the juniors to get to know the rest of the a bit better because like I mean remember like many of these are like new ones, so it's kind of hard to get your own kind of group thing going on. But yeah, Hakai and Grani agreed to help their juniors, and the next day, or at least I don't think this chapter states a couple of days later, but at some point in the week, Karani and Kakai got four tickets for this horror movie. As they go to Rin and Namu, as they're like, so the thing is, we planned to go watch this movie, but unfortunately, we didn't communicate to each other about who's gonna get the tickets. So we both ended up getting both the two tickets together. So we thought about so we want to go, but we had extra tickets. So since you two have told us that you would be interested to watch this whole movie, why don't you come with us? Essentially, kind of like more push because the two of them are senpais, and it's more like, oh, we have extra tickets. Like, we can invite one. We can go to any random girlfriend and ask them to come with us. We did just the two who had interest in this movie. So, yeah, they are. So, yeah, Nemo and Rain agreed towards that. They probably felt like, oh, it's just this. It is also some peer pressure from that point of view, but it's kind of more like senpais had extra tickets. Of course, they're going to be asking around if anyone else want to go with them. So there's probably like a bit more explanation, and they'll probably be less awkward about asking all the girlfriends to participate in their activities. So yeah, we have all four of them going to the horror movie as they are at the cinema, ready to watch. And Nemo's fears about falling asleep have actually turned out to be true because before even the lights are turned off, she's already kind of starting to fall asleep because the chairs are really comfy and all that. And as she's starting to fall asleep and starting to try to wake herself up or keep herself awake, Rin chirps in and wants to start talking to Namu about the horror movie. As it says, it's like one of those like confusing titles where it's like the final chapter, but it's like part three. So there's like a lot of and like there's a lot of like, oh, it's supposed to be the ending, but it's a multi-parter, so it's probably just meant to be a joke on those movies and probably on those manga series or animes that have like they have their final seasons, but they always split on that. Like Attack on Titan did that, and I think MHA's final season is also doing it. Like they split. I'm not entirely certain thing about it, but I think that way they MHA did in the final season, there is like they had the first part of the season, and then now they took a break off so Hirokoshi could finish the manga properly, and now they're gonna animate the final Shigaraki portion, well, all for on the Shigaraki portion, because I think in the manga season they came to write about, I think right at the All for One and All Might fight, but then they have to complete the final batches of chapters. So yeah, essentially we have so it's like one of those kind of make fun of things, but not directly. So yeah, Rain says these movies are more or less standalone, which is again kind of like a mockery about horror movies. So they have like the final thing, but the movies themselves are very isolated, so you don't even need to watch them. Is this supposed to be like a reference to Friday the 13th? Because I think that it's a series that had like a lot of like final in their chapter in their finals in their titles, but it's always continued. But I think this movie is meant to be more reference on Alien, but whatever. So Rin tells her about that, but then also shows her like a little pamphlet on the movie in general to like get the to like kind of try to start their communication, because talking about a horror movie a lot is before watching it kind of makes sense. So when shows to Namu, and when Namu sees this graphicness from this whole movie, which is so graphic that they're not even allowed to show in the chapter in a tiny little panel what is actually shown in this movie to the viewers, it awakens Namu's more, and he's like, oh, gives like a rush of excitement over watching it. And then we have Ray and Namu just having their kind of starting to talk about it, and now being awake until the movie starts, and just general excitement. Which we have Thin Khan and Hakai looking very proud of themselves. Yes, we did a good thing for our juniors. Yes, we're great seniors. Until the movie starts, where I guess Hakai and Khan kind of forgot one very important thing about going to watch a horror movie with Rin. Horror movie with Rin. And that would be, it's fucking horrifying. So when the movie starts and they start with the whole butchery and gore, Hakai and Kane get a bit scared from it. Like, they want to start screaming in the first couple of seconds, kind of scared. So the two are horrified, and their immediate reaction to getting these horrible scenes, like to grab each other's hands. Which you could say this was just them trying to grab the nearest thing to them, like grab their boyfriend Rentaro, but in this instance, it's next to each other, so the only one they can grab is each other. Or instinctually they grab, because when they grab and they realize they grab each other's hand, they're like, we don't like to do this, but in this instance, we must work together to keep ourselves from being horrified, so I guess we have to rely on each other. As then we get a little secrets of them kind of almost screaming, but Hakai shoves a soda into Kane's mouth to keep her from screaming. Hakai is about to scream, but Kane shoves a popcorn into Hakai's mouth, which Hakai very appreciates the taste of this popcorn. I wonder why. until they get to the well, and it's kind of implied this is happening a lot during this time. It's just like going like shove popcorn, shove soda, but until like eventually get to like the I guess I'm not really a big whole movie guy, but I think it's supposed to be like the middle to the end of the movie where they are going to like for the big reveals or something. The peace for silence kind of thing, which is actually a term they use. So they both know that something's going to happen, but what's going to happen? We need to do something immediately, but it happens, and I think it's what they describe sounds like a reference to aliens. So the two of them see this, and they are terrified of this. So they immediately are like, "Oh shit! Come on, I do something! Come on, I do something!" Both of them need the other one to do something, so they turn to each other and they start smooching. That's right. Kalani and Hakai actively gag each other by kissing each other. As the two of them are looking and realizing, oh shit, we're smooching like this, but we need to stop this, but we need to stay like this, otherwise we're gonna scream and ruin for our juniors. So they're stuck in this and they're essentially super embarrassed and flustered, like, what should we do? We can't do anything. As they just spent what I can only assume is like 30, if not an hour of the movie, just smooching each other to keep themselves shut up from screaming. So, yeah. I said this chapter will speak, and what else did you expect but Gorani and Hagai smooching for it? And I really like the details on this in this span, the way this is drawn, because you can tell the two of them are embarrassed and flustered and everything. So it's just a really amazing amazing panel. So yeah. Anyways, after the movie and presumably Hakai and Kane kissing for a couple of hours, well, an hour or two, we have Ray and Nemo acting the theater as they're discussing the standard things we discuss after watching a whole movie. Which one was your favorite moment? Which was your favorite death in the whole movie? And stuff like that. Until they turn to Khan and Hakari to see what they thought of the movie, only for the two of them to like still be holding hands and leaving in the most awkward position. Like you can tell the two of them are just thinking to each other, or psychically communicating to each other. We do not talk. How we spent an hour and a half smooching each other because we were too terrified. Agreed. Yes, agree. We did. This did not happen. But to Rin and Nemu, this just looks like the two of them are an awkward couple who chose the wrong movie to go on a first date, which more or less is. Although I really do question this was the first time the two of them have actually went on a date together. Because like you kind of think there will be more instances where the two of them ending up in these kind of scenarios, but whatever. So we have the two of them, of course, trying to deny the fact that they are awkward couple that went on the wrong movie for their first date with their usual shticks about like Hakai calling Kane stupid, so she needed to hold her hand so she doesn't hit something. With Karane being saying that Hakai is so fat that she needed to, and the two of them aren't even like reacting to each other's words. It's just clearly blurring out whatever they first insult they could say to each other and nothing else. But anyways, what's important is that Karane and that Nemo and Rain are very thankful for inviting them. They were thinking about inviting each other, but it was too awkward, so they're very happy that they invite them so they can, so they could see that there's some common ground for them. Which does me kind of wonder if they realized that this was like planned or something, because like I mean when you really think about it, both of them talk with Rin talked to Hakari about not wanting to being embarrassed to invite Nemo on this movie. They and Nemo talked to Karane about wanting to invite on this whole movie. They didn't mention anything about going to watch this whole movie at the time. Like, oh, I and Hakai are planning to go watch that movie being as well, or agreed to meet up. You kind of think one of them chopped up from it, and when they were talking, but then next day they just sort of show up and oh yeah, we already have tickets. So do you want to come as well? But they don't realize that Foamy knows, so they just think those two are just kind seniors and not actively scheming to get them to get to know each other better. But yeah, Anyways, that makes Kane and Hakai very proud of themselves. Says, "We did good. We did good." And then we get to the other chapter joke with Nemo and Rin wanting to go see the next couple of movies, but saying, "Oh, let's invite Kane and Hakai as well." With the two of them getting into kind of like their bickering old married couple act, with them saying, "Oh, I would go to, but Kane is too scared to go. Oh no, I would go. You are too chicken to go." So the two of them trick each other to go into another horror movie and another smooch fest. At this point, the two of them are just smooching in horror movies, if anything else. I do have to wonder if this is just gonna develop the two of them having some kind of bad habits about just kissing each other, because like, you know how in I think it was a baby chap in the first baby chapter, Karane and Kurumi both were sucking off of Hakari, and then they're adult and they were back. They developed a bit of a desire to to taste Hakari's breasts. It does make you kind of wonder if this is also gonna be a bit of a habit where the two of them are just gonna end up kissing each other whenever they go into into a movie or something. But anyways, how bad habits development for next chapters to see. So yeah. Anyways, after peakness, and honestly, we really did just peak with this for this week. Like, there's nothing that could possibly surpass 100 girlfriends. I mean, already it's impossible to find something to surpass 100 girlfriends, but now it's even basically no diff. So let's just go in easy with some Four Nights of the Apocalypse. Yeah, that's a decent enough thing to relax ourselves with chapter 172 titled Nauseans versus Rufus. So yeah, we have the final round for bracket one. So yeah, anyways, we start this chapter off with seeing what Gawain's been up to in the last couple of chapters, because remember, in the last couple of chapters we didn't really see Gawain much or commentary on the battles. So where is she? And it's revealed that she's actually been talking through a seashell to her grandparents, and we kind of get like an interesting side to Gawain, where she kind of like, I don't want to say she needs a lot of like positive reinforcement from her grandparents or anything. It's just it seems to be like she's a lot more like wants to be kind of more pampered than we kind of figured, because she talks to her grandparents and she tells her grandpa, yes, I did make it to the finals, make it to the final rule into the actual 1v1 tournament. Yeah, obviously there was this one guy who managed to resist my magic, which I think is the first time that was stated how Ball, I think was his name, right, was able to deal with her. So she states he resisted her magic. So I guess maybe magic resistance. If Lancer has developed magic resistance, I don't know really. Again, Balan's kind of a weird character who's kind of vanished after his introduction. But anyway, she tells him yes, but she can tells her grandpa that she can handle him, but tells her grandpa, can I get a hug? Which is, they can't hug each other, but it's like supposed to be that kind of, telling each other hug kind of thing. So she tells grandpa hug, and he tells her hug, and then she asks also for grandma to hug, so she also hugs her. So it's kind of interesting to think that how much Gawain kind of, despite her attitude, does kind of want to be very cuddled kind of situation. But yeah. Anyways, as Gawain's embarrassing little talk with her grandparents ends, she gets the announcement for the win on the third round, where Gawain's like, "Oh yes, this was Anne's round, right?" So she goes to see how the battle went, and she sees, it's first announced that the Oja is the winner. So I guess what happened was Percival stopped the fight and grabbed Anne, and the announcer guy just said, "Oh well, the fight is over. There's no more attacking, and killing is unnecessary. So you're just the winner. It doesn't really matter at all." So Percival just walks. So Percival just started healing Anne as he's leaving the arena, all pissed off at the OJ for having a subordinate that would cheat. So yeah, as then and Gawain sees this, she's like, "Oh no, what happened to Anne?" As Percival just tells her Anne was attacked in a very awful way. She'll be fine after she recovers and all that. I'm healing her right now. And as he leaves, the Oja is also like, I don't want to say like right behind him, but as he leaves, Dioja and Turret also come after behind them, kind of like I'm guessing what happened was Percival carried on away, but Dioja was kind of like going to out there as well, as he's like, Turret, come with me for a bit, and then we have Turret behind them. So yeah, uh, the so when the Percival leaves, Turret starts talking about it's only natural for the weak to get hurt, so they shouldn't. There's nothing really wrong here. Kind of showing us a bit more of his character, you know. So Gawain is like, "What did you just say?" As Turret is like, "Oh, did I say anything hurtful about saying the weak should not participate in battles against the strong?" Which is kind of ironic because the Older, but like that's kind of a weird character because you kind of do understand. Like it's not even the Older's fault the fact that he's weak compared to Anne. It's just that he literally cannot even fight for long periods of time without getting ill. So it's like kind of so it's kind of like ironic, but it's also kind of like what exactly can the Eldritch do about this situation? He can't really do anything. But yeah, anyways, this is setting up Gawain versus Turret, and yeah, I really do hope Gawain beats the shit off Turret. I mean, granted, the Turret and Rufus have definitely showing themselves to be a lot more powerful than we initially give them credit for, but I still feel like the two of them are going to lose their round. The question really comes down to is, will their cheating be revealed and how they'll get around that? So yeah. Anyways, Turret and Gawain get their set up for their match, while Deodra and Turret go into their little talk. As Deodra chats starts as the Turret for his cheating getting involved, you know, saying that beast and all that. So you know, Deodra is not a fan of this fight. Like he said, he doesn't wish that he would win this way, but he understands. But I mean, he understands why, but it's like I don't want to win this way. We shouldn't be winning this way because, like, again, Dioja is very green in this field, so he doesn't understand the necessity of it, which does piss. Well, I'm going to assume this does piss off Turret a bit. The fact that Dioja is not complaining about stuff like this, like you wanted to, you wanna use Beltrapper's powers to restore your father's memories. This is gonna be necessary. I'm sorry, we did not think there were people that would be actual challengers who would be skilled and experienced enough to beat you, but it turns out they were. So now we have to cheat. Which he doesn't say that, but he essentially does sort of express the necessity for it, and also kind of his own frustrations with Dioja because I mean it's kind of difficult to say because at first he says you stupid child or stupid kid, which does make Dioja quiet, but he doesn't say in a very like oh you stupid kind of sense, which does make Dioja kind of confused what he says. But then he goes into like this kind of what feels like something that Ironside told to do it when they were training or something like when Einstein was like an instructor or something for Turret. Like this about how if you fight an opponent, you have to cut. If you fight a monster, you have to cut its horns. You have to destroy it to take it down. What matters in every fight is that you win. You know, anything else is unnecessary. If you have to cut a beast's horns to have an easier shot at killing it, you cut its horns first. So in this instance, if you want to win, if you can beat your opponent on pure swordsmanship skills, we are going to have to add something extra for you to win. So shouldn't really matter. What matters is your victory in this instance. So it's kind of like one of those, he's saying something that would make the Oja think, oh, he's just talking what his father said because he does says those are the words that Einstein used. So it's very much like a kind of a trainer kind of situation. Like say what so it's kind of follow your father's way of being a swordsman, and then which the Oja does get what he's saying, so he just shuts up afterwards. He's not happy about it, but he does shut up about it. As the Tora then tells that Rufus is up next. His win is in the back. Uh, So they don't need to focus. So all that they all just needs to focus on right now is to rest. They'll figure things out later, and yeah, I mean, it's a bit overconfident, but whatever. So to so yeah. Anyways, after that we cut to Turret versus we have Nauseans versus Rufus, and we have like quick little slashes with blades of it. As Nauseans calls out Rufus and Turret for cheating. Well, Turret cheating, but Rufus is pretty much like one of the previous chapters he was kind of like, oh no, we should be doing this Turret. Here he's more like he kind of gets it in deal. Like I mean, it's again meant to kind of contrast between Deodra and Rufus. Like they both were against it or shocked at the beginning, but after some after the match, they were both kind of Deodra was still pissed off about it. Rufus was like, "Well, we have to stomach it. It was necessary, so we need to continue. So there's no point complaining about honor and stuff like that right now." So it's more like kind of, "Oh, do you have any proof that we cheated in the last match? Do you? Do you?" So yeah, Rufus is saying that as Nogin says, "Oh yeah, that's like the most admitting you're guilty that you could possibly have said." So yeah, we have kind of indirectly revealing it, but it's not directly revealing it. So the two of them clash a bit, as then Nogin wants to finish Rufus off quickly, as Nogin uses a new type of poison he made called Venom, mixing Misty Rain and Snow Carol, which he explains is something that he got from the fairy forest, where it's like a super powerful paralyzation. But besides paralyzation, it also has a very interesting reaction to when it's like combined with heat. And Hans explains that due to the fact that they are not allowed to use fire magic in the fairy forest, he couldn't have tested it out, so he's now going to test his flower with his fire glove that he got from Dobbs. So he uses that. So he covers this area with those with a poison, and then uses the fire glove to ignite that, which causes a giant explosion across the entire arena, engulfing Rufus. Which Nozins is a bit surprised by. They had this giant of a reaction. He expected a reaction, but he didn't expect this giant of a reaction. And this makes the announcer and anyone else think that, oh, is Rufus out already? But unfortunately for Nauseans, Rufus has a bit of a fire resistance as Rufus jumps from the sea of flames and kicks Nauseans away. As Nauseans wonders, how is that possible? You should be engulfing flames at least. As Rufus basically kind of tries to one up Nauseans when it comes to poisons because he asks Nauseans, "Oh, tell me something. Do you know of a poison that causes?" He essentially just goes down like a list of a bunch of different types of poisons and dangerous then poisons. Well, not poisons. Different symptoms that you get from poison, like convulsing, paranoia, hallucination, uh, stop breathing, and stuff like that. As he's like, "Do you know of a poison that can make you feel all those?" As Nausea and tells him, "I'm an expert in this field, and I know for a fact there isn't any. Not in Britannia, not in the fairy realm, possibly not even in the demon realm. Since Nausea would not be aware if there is one in the demon realm." But Rufus shows a one up here with him saying, "Oh no, there is this type of poison. It's just in purgatory. The real realm that Bon and Meliodas went to fight the Demon King and had a training session there." So he says you can only find that in a very specific area in that place. As then Rufus uses what I think the spell's called Gatekeeper, as he opens like a little hole around behind him that's I'm guessing supposed to connect to the purgatory system, and says how dangerous, kind of hyping the purgatory. I think purgatory has appeared in the Four Knights. I think that's like where a lot of the magical beasts being used by the Chaos Knights emanate from. Like they are purgatory beasts, to my knowledge. But Nazians has very minimal knowledge, and I don't even think anyone has actually referred to those beasts as purgatory beasts. So He's kind of surprised by this purgatory, by having it be said purgatory. Either that, or he's referring to something that he was told previously. So yeah, Rufus is saying how this is the end, and whether he's gonna be using this gatekeeper spell with purgatory, he's like a very massive thing. Which is kind of funny. This is coming out in this chapter because I believe a couple of days before the chapter came out, there was actually information, volumes extras came out and which revealed information about Turret and Rufus. So it's kind of fun, kind of interesting little connects. We just find these two have apparently are like beast tamers for Purgatory, and in this one they are already being stated. Oh yeah, again being told us in universe they are connected to Purgatory in some sense. I'm guessing that it's Resistance of Ice also comes because he was in Purgatory or something, but whatever. So yeah, anyways, after 4 nights, we then have One Piece chapter 1132 titled Adventure in Elbaf. So we start this chapter off with I guess the harbor village in on Elbaf because we have like that little kid that talk with overrated. That as he's like, I guess the tavern woman tells, oh, the elders are here, the Dorian Broggy are here, and he even like and before he goes to her, he even like signals to them if they're gonna have a feast or something. And yeah, I think Broggy does him. Yes, we'll have a feast and make a big one. So they go. So he goes to the tavern. He tells her, yes, they won't be coming here. They'll be going straight to the like main Alba village area. They're just asking to bring a feast, and the tavern lady says, yes, here is the things that we can give you the first hand to carry it to it immediately as everyone else said, oh, tell them that we'll be bringing them bigger fruit later, more fruit later. We're just now giving you the first initial idea, and also so you can inform anyone else to start preparing stuff. Which the kid is fine, and as he moves on to go get all the fruit ready for them to go. As then we have the straw hats. We have the Albaf ship moving towards Bath, as they explained to us, the how people from Albath kind of travel in Albath as they use the rainbow to climb up it and get to the main area, which surprises everyone because thinking like, wait, what? You can use a rainbow to get up Albath? Which is kind of confusing to a lot of them, and Lilith makes a little comment about this. It's so unscientific, but they explain it's like a specially a stone that's kind of being used as a way to move around, well, up to the rainbow, or I think the rainbow is made of that allows them to kind of sail upwards through it. As we had like classic little showing of characters being reacted to it, being kind of surprised. Like I think Buck is kind of holding holding Robin to be like, oh, because she's scared a bit. So yeah, they move normally upward the rainbow. So yeah, as then we got to Luffy reuniting. Well, Luffy meeting Gert and Goldberg because he sees the Goldberg carrying the straw hat ship. So he just after he came from the forest that Loki was at, he came upwards and he saw them holding it. So he wanted to get their ship back, but well, Good and Goldberg are actually, happy to see Luffy. They acknowledge him as their superior. They acknowledge him for saving Ruden and all that. So they are very happy about him. And so they're very more excited to see him. It's more like, hey, you are carrying the ship. Oh wait, that's Sean Luffy. Oh great, Luffy. Fee. Oh look how cute he is. Come here. We are chasing road. Right now, I guess that idiot really did cause more trouble than we figured. Oh, that guy is a creep. Don't worry, I'm not a creep like him. I like you humans. You're very cute and all that, but I wouldn't do something like what Road does. So come on, let's go after him. So yeah. Now, after they Goldberg, I think Goldberg comments, "Huh, you came from that forest? Why the heck were you in that forest? That forest is like the most dangerous place in this on the island." which then we get like a little flashback with Luffy, I guess, agreeing with Loki's proposal about freeing him. But Loki tells Luffy about, oh, you shouldn't tell anyone that I'm here because things will get in trouble. Like things will not go in good direction. As Luffy wants to lie about what he was doing there, but it's Luffy, so he doesn't really have the ability to lie. He's more like just like trying to, yes, I you see that, so he just doesn't say directly, but he essentially can lie, which just has Goldberg and Gerd being like, oh, don't worry, you don't have to tell us. Like that place is like the scariest thing in the world. Like we literally throw our place is literally meant to be like a execution site, so it's fine. We don't mind you now being able to talk to us about this. Let's go get you the rest with everyone else. So we then cut to Rodo trying to get Usopp and Nami as we see him jumping at them to grab them. Well, I think going for Nami and Chopper for his collections, but it turns out they did like a little trap for Rodo because in his blind desire for collectibles. He didn't spot the fact that the tree was being chopped down. So when he went there, the tree fell and he hit himself on the tree, or the tree fell on him. Sad. So yeah, he got a little stuck there, which they comment how stupid the Rodo is because everyone could have seen this kind of chop going. But yeah, anyways, then Good and Goldberg with Luffy arrived with the Straw Hats as Rodo for some reason thinks that Good will help him in this instance. He probably just thinks of his beauty. But unfortunately for him, Good and Goldberg just want to fucking punish him because this guy, they do not, they think of him as a weirdo to begin with, but now he's also, like imprisoning and imprisoning people who saved their captain and their king. So they're very fucking pissed off at him. So they just like slamming him into the living hell out of him until like he's just on the floor with a bunch of like bumps on his head, like, ugh, getting kind of him out of his like. I guess out of his like evil era or evil portion of the story. So yeah, we just have, and then after he gets beaten the shit off, we just have the Straw Hats and Goldberg and Good reuniting with them and getting them ready to transfer. Essentially, all right, we beat the shit out of Rodo, we punished them. Now this whole thing is kind of clear. Now we can get everyone reunited to get like the get everything. The exciting portion of the story out of the way, like all the conversations and all that. So yeah. Anyways, then we have the character. We have Gert telling everyone, "All right, we'll be using the clouds to get to the main village. That's where we'll be celebrating you guys and everything. All right, let's go." As Luffy and Usopp kind of rush through the clouds and to get to the location, but yeah. Anyways, I'm guessing that Rolo's gonna get punished by Haruden later, but that's besides the important portion of the story. So yeah. Anyways, then we back to the cut back to the ones on the Albath ship as they kind of explain more how this all connects through it with the clouds and the rainbow and how they're using that to travel. And while they're talking about that, they also spot that Haruden and Stanson with their moose full straw hat have behind them. It's kind of like you have like the big ship, but it's also their ship, so they are traveling together to the main village. As Haruka says, "Hey, the elders, we are here. We have the moose, so we can have our feast for straw hats. Oh wow, that is great job, Haruden. Oh, we have this will be so tasty. Wait, this moose is for straw hat pirates to eat. The only meat we'll be having from it is the leftovers." Oh, all right. Oh, no. Damn it. So, we have a little bit of that. As then we cut to, as then we have all of them arrive in the Alba village, which is like this very, picturesque kind of scenery and all that. And as they all arrive there, we also have Luffy's group arriving at the village. So you have like the ones on the Albath should be like coming there, but then you have Luffy and Usopp coming there from the clouds, and they're like, "Oh wow, you've been using a rainbow to travel here. Oh wow, you've been using the clouds to travel here. Oh my god!" So it's kind of like it's a little fun interaction to get them all reunited. I kind of question if splitting the two groups up is going to be very necessary, since like it's not like we couldn't have had the cloud thing being explained later with the child just moving up here, but whatever. So yeah, anyways, everyone, the main idea behind this is to show us how magical Albert looks to us, as then we get narration by someone named Louis Arnold, some kind of archaeologist or explorer or something. Not certain we've seen this guy before or not, but anyways, he chirps up and says to them, Albath is a magical place with full of wonder and all that. But if you arrive on Albath, you should really not stay for long. So it's like a ominous warning, woo, which is kind of funny because I guess this is meant to be directly kind of contrast with the fact that everything is kind of chill now. Like there's not really a conflict or a kind of enemy that you have. Roto was just a nuisance and just worthless when you really break it down. Like you really have to question this was really necessary. The whole Roto Strides kind of storyline. But then you get to this era itself. Like Loki, the only other real like source of tension and conflict, it feels like it would just be like an easy like mention. With how everyone's still talking about Loki being up there, you would really think if Loki is like someone would just indirectly say, "Oh, Loki, because all this trouble." Like, "Oh, I knew you were a king. You were a king of Elbaf." And then, yeah, Loki was supposed to be, but then he killed our father and stole the fruit, so I became king. And when Luffy be like, "Oh, wait, he killed his father to steal fruit? Well, good thing I didn't steal the keys to free him. That bastard was probably that bastard deserves to be punished for his sins." So it's kind of like one of those things where I can easily see Luffy blubbering something out as soon as he finds out Loki's crime. So it's kind of like one of those where it's like a 50-50 thing where this is all going to go. So yeah. It kind of is interesting that it's straight up mentioned that there's something on Alba that shouldn't be stayed on. I don't know what this is supposed to be, but then again, I'm not understanding who Lewis Arnold is supposed to be, so we'll have to wait to see what this ominous warning is meant to represent. I mean, kind of weird if it's some kind of weird, it's isolated creature type of thing. I'm kind of getting like a floor and triangle situation going on here, but not one to one, but weird creature kind of thing. But yeah, anyways, after the One Piece, we then travel to Chain Soldier, chapter 145, titled Intertwining Plots. I'm pretty sure there's a little too few plots to be considered intertwining, but whatever makes an interesting title, I guess. So yeah, anyways, we start this chapter with one of those moments where it really makes you question how the heck are these characters in this series supposed to be taken as virgins? Because we literally have the first page of the chapter with Kyoka and Yuki completely naked. Like it's not kept up to speculation. Like you can clearly see that neither of the two are wearing any underwear on, as they're holding each other as if they just ended it, ended in that one session. Now I don't know if they did it. I don't know. This is like one meant to be. That's definitely like one of those extra pages for the volume kind of situations. But I am pretty sure the two of them had to have done it. But I don't know. I guess it's not. It's gonna be like one of those define logics moments. It's kind of like Azure not being the first, even though she's extremely perverted. But whatever. In the main point is that it's just to get some fan service and for the setup for the extra pages with Kyoka just praising Yuki because of his efforts against Ran. So yeah, that's about it. But then we get to the main portion, well, the more important bits where Kyoka and Imabu are the muscular woman, the who's the I think the defense secretary, no, not defense secretary, the defense minister or something. As we see the two of them talking on a boat, as Immobile has actually been kind of not fully convinced, but is starting to kind of consider Kyoka because no, she's meant to be the defense minister. So of course, seeing that the strongest ran, it can get like one up under the right circumstances will definitely make her reconsider. Like I kind of, it was easier trusting you blindly when you essentially could. I was convinced that anyone you could defeat everyone, but now I'm starting to kind of question if you can, how much can you get one up, So Immobile is considered that, and it's also revealed that Immobile is actually from the same village that Kyoka was. I'm guessing she survived because I do believe it was there multiple times that there was no survivors except for Kyoka. Immobile probably left beforehand. She's probably like, I think Kyoka is in her like, is she her 20s? I know I checked Kyoka's age before, but I don't think she's like super old. I think it's like 20 something, so right before 20. I think it was something like it was somewhere in that time period. So if Immobile was like in her 30s, maybe closer to Fubuki's age, honestly. Uh, yeah, I think Fubuki's age, that would probably explain why she's there. Maybe a bit younger than Fubuki, but whatever. She's essentially like she relates to Kyoka. She understands Kyoka's position, and she has been proven that Kyoka's words are not empty. So she does say that she'll listen to Kyoka, or at least consider Kyoka becoming in charge. Not definitive, but I will at least like go back. It's like one of those. All right, so essentially they always got like one ups on us. It was just that we were lucky enough to beat them. She probably maybe will take close looks at the reports. Like she probably want to know more details about that because Rand. Because the way Rand has always like perceived these reports, you'd think it would be like one of those like it was no issue. We beat them. That's all the results. It doesn't matter the fact that Mira would have almost been completely lost. The fact and that was by the one that needs to absorb many, and she only had 3 people that she absorbed and used as a power source. It doesn't matter the fact that if Fubuki, Fumika just left. Fumika, Fumi, that if that shape to have just left Val behind in their dormitory, she would have been able to. Item would have just been able to kill everyone. It doesn't matter. All that matters is they beat the gods of thunder, and that's it. So Imara would be better think about that, but because now she has to consider it. But the fact that Marvel will at least consider going with Kyoka is enough to make Kyoka happy, while Ran is off to the shore watching the two talking because for some reason the two of them went on like a little boat ride. I guess maybe for privacy reasons, but Ran is literally just standing there on a shore, so I don't really know what privacy that would be. You might as well just put, I guess, like, I don't really know what that point was at. Like, if you want privacy, you probably should have just had Vavera open a portal because she's definitively all for Kyoka. Just open to your sanctum, and just be quiet in a corner somewhere. But yeah, anyways, that's it for the little talk. As then we cut to Konomi and Yuki training in his slave form in her armor state they were having. As Konomi says that kind of gives her view on this whole action, like she didn't have an issue with Ren. Like she, unlike a lot of other characters who've had like, they were kind of skeptical about Ren and kind of questioning it from the very beginning. Konomi has had no issues because she's the young one. You could even say that she hasn't even been a captain for a year. I think wasn't there a first meeting that could have not been more than a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month or 2 or 3 at most ago? Literally the first time that anyone has even learned of the promotion. Oh, no, wait. Wasn't it like the way they done? Wasn't it kind of implied that Konomi becoming the captain or the chief was literally Alright, everyone, I'm stepping down. This here is my replacement. I'll still act as her advisor more than a vice captain, but essentially, she's the new bitch in charge of Squad 1. She's basically, so basically, she's not been a captain for a very long, so she hasn't been a captain for a long period. So doesn't really have many thoughts on the situation, but she was told by the previous chief that she should consider everything with seriousness. Yes, you may not have an issue, but you have to actually consider things. You may not have an issue, but you still need to you have to go through all of your options. Which Konomi does say that she has been thinking that, but she doesn't really know if it will be really, she's kind of confused about this thing. And it's also supposed to be referring to how Konomi has been throughout this entire election. She's always like tried to think of a way, but she couldn't really think of. Because remember, like, yes, the shock at the whole experimentation, it was shocking, but again, like if you ask everyone in the room, they'll all say we surprising, yeah, shocking, yes, but necessarily unexpected, not so much. So that's kind of like not really a good idea because you kind of already communicate. Wait, so you were already kind of imagining with it being within the scope, so it kind of takes away. So it makes Konami now kind of want to be that against Ren in a sense. And yeah, and Yuki does want to sees that Konami is trying to really hard to figure things out, and he just wants to help her in a sense, in a way, so she can think in a more relaxed manner, which is so just tickling each other to get themselves calm. Well, in what they just did for some nice tickling fan service shots of Konami, as we have the two just tickling each other until Konami gets the upper hand. She starts tickling Yuki as a payback. So yeah, then we cut to Fubuki talking with her mother, as she's like, I'm definitely leaning to Kyoka. I am very in depth to Kyoka for all that she's done for her daughter, and she definitely sees Kyoka as a good potential. The issue, however, and she also praises Mira because like Mira does have a good good showings as a captain. Like it's like that volleyball game they had where Mia and Fubuki were against Kunomi and Ran, where Mia says that I not you that whole, oh, you want to place all the bets on yourself, but it's an organization. You can lean on us to help anything. If there are things, these types of things are for us to help as well. So it does shows kind of like the usefulness to show has a better mindset for a team structure. Then when you really break it down, having someone like Mira who will lean on you would probably benefit the Azumis as well. So it does make sense from that perspective as well. Which her mother does actually say, since Mia doesn't have like strong supporters from the beginning like Ran and Kyoka had, it would make sense for you to be the first one and then get like the other ones like Konomi and Azu and maybe someone else who could be kind of changed sides with to get also to support Mira, and then you could be win and then you get benefits, all for the sake of the Azumis. So they're thinking about all that as they're saying, but the mother is very chill about it. Like she probably just says that there's no Ren in that consideration about who should be the next captain, so she's very just pleased about that part because like Ren and her kind of have like this beef that it was demonstrated a couple of chapters ago. So it's kind of a little thing where she's just very chill about, like, as long as it's not Ren, I'm happy about basically. So yeah, they're all talking they're talking and we cut away from this. As then we cut to Yuki just walking. I'm assuming finishing cleaning something or another. As he spots Ran and he wants to kind of avoid Ran because he realizes that after that little fight they had, she'd probably be very pissed about that. which then cause which and the way the trans generally is, you probably do want to avoid her. Like if she's walking next across from you, you want to step away so you don't, dare to disrespect her or something. So yeah, but then he moves aside. Randin counter stabs and she shoves him into the wall, uh, and then slams and has him slap there, and he's kind of like basically threatens Yuki by saying, "Well, you certainly had like a fun little showing there. After this, I really do consider punishing you, master in the path after what you've done." Kind of how she gave that demon face when she realized that Kyoka beat her in that duel. So she's very pissed off at that, and now wants to Kyoka and Yuki in their place and all that. So yeah, but to Yuki this doesn't really matter. Like while Yuki might be a top tier submissive simp, does at least have enough of backbone to step up for his woman. So he's very so he's able to stand off against Ren essentially. But as Ren is leaving from this little threatening moment, Yuki says, "Oh yes, you are amazing, Ren, but Kyoka will still not lose," which I know the characters are not aware in the story, but I really do feel like Kyoka is going to lose this election. Even if Ren doesn't win, I don't think Kyoka would win. It's just too early. Plus, this arc really kind of shows us why Kyoka is not ready for the position of a captaincy. She simply isn't. But Yuki doesn't know. He just wants to, think Kyoka is gonna, he just wants to praise Kyoka. But yeah, anyways, Randin says, "Oh, I will excuse that comment about Kyoka winning purely because you acknowledge I'm amazing." And she leaves with Yuki again, like referencing how, the real deal is way scared in Fumika, which I really do have to wonder, is this gonna be like a big thing? Like, I mean, I don't want to. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but the difference between Ran and Fumika has been referenced, what, 3 times already? Basically, every time that Ran and Fumika could. When he was seeing Ran after fighting Fumika, he referenced how different she feels to her. When they were using her as a training dummy for Ran, he referenced that. He even now references again. It's been at least 3 times from what I can remember, because those are the 3 major times. And it always gets stated, but I don't know why it would be stated, especially since Fumika isn't like a one-to-one copy user. She's more of she takes the appearance of people, but she doesn't become them. She doesn't have like abilities like the Lloyd twins got from Bleach, where they take the memories and the power in some instances. She simply takes their physical form. And even that cannot really be attributed completely to Mika, because whenever she does take someone's form, she prefers the Gyaro appearance. So when she infiltrated to take over Bell, she first appeared as Gyaro Bell, and then appeared like normal Bell. When Ran appears, she always takes the Gyaro look. When she turns into any other captain, she always looks like Gyaro. Even in Ravera's fight, she I think turned to Kyoka and Ravera, and in both incidents, she took the Gyaro appearance. So why is this being brought up so much if it's not going to be meaningful? Is this like setting up some kind of thing later where like one of the characters is gonna be like, you do realize that the reason why these two don't feel the same and why Rans feels stronger is purely because the Peach ability that she has is a unique one amongst Peaches, right? Or something of the manner, like I don't know, it just feels like this has to be something important about that, how it's constantly being brought up. But yeah. Anyways, after this comment from Yuki, Ravera shows up and he wants to, let's pray for Kyoka's success in the cathedral, because again, this is just Simpson and Kyoka's, basically Kyoka's dick riders and all that. But yeah, anyways, we then cut to Kyoka And Imabo meeting once again, as Imabo apologizes to Kyoka, but she will not be able to support her, with Kyoka being kind of confused, asking why is that, but Imabo just wants to immediately get away, which Kyoka immediately figures out. Ran found out that Imabo was considering her and has decided to threaten her, so she went after her, because, Imabo's kind of like the toward a lot of them, they think she's kind of weak link when it comes to the trio of the vote for Ran. Like, one of them is stated by Valera to be a complete devotee to Ran. Belle they've talked to, but Belle, even after all what Ran has done to her, still thinks that she would be the best. And how, she has like this very kind of childish view on the matter. And Marble, who's the only one they could convince, she was just threatened, blackmailed by Ran, basically. So, yeah. With Kyoka now realizing that while they have been kind of more leaning towards her after the little confrontation, she hasn't actually won. Like, the point of that battle was to make them all convinced to go with her, but essentially they're still from the square one. Fubuki, Erzu, and Konami still haven't decided to go with Kyoka. Imabo, who's been getting kind of convinced, has been threatened to Ran to go back in line. And one of them is a devotee, and Belle, she has no idea if Belle would really change sides, so you're gonna have to kind of consider things from that perspective. So yeah, which now makes Kyoka needs to get more votes from Konami, Erzu, and Fubuki, but again, I don't know, I really feel like they're kind of dragging these three out from about who are they going to decide to vote on. They just kind of feel like it kind of feels like very forced. So yeah. Anyways, we then cut to Mira, who I really don't know what Mira's planning becoming the chief really is, because she doesn't really seem to be trying to get anyone's vote. She made good speeches, but I don't think we've ever seen her trying to convince anyone to vote. So it's kind of weird that that her version is essentially just just sitting next to a table as Yuki is preparing food, as they're just talking normal stuff like, oh, you have a lot on your plate, Yuki. Oh no, you can't just have a lot more on your plate than I do. With Naon then appearing and when her in casual clothing, I guess someone finally decided to give those to some proper clothes, because let's be honest to ourselves, we can't just have Nao constantly showing her breasts. Like, seriously, Nao's normal outfit is literally just her boobs out. It's just the black skin that's covering her up. But anyways, Naon is there to state that she's terrified, because when Naon and Tenka were came back to their room, the old lady was standing and staring at her, which terrified Naon, because remember, she saw the old lady and she was the one that told them, please just let us experiment on you so we can reverse you. We don't have the ability now, but we will eventually. So now she's kind of intimidating them. I'm assuming she's probably trying to intimidate them to a point they will lash out, but it's not really working. So no one is terrified. So Mira just tries to calm her down, thinking, don't worry, everyone knows about Elmo Agency. These experiments will have to be addressed. Even if Ren wins, she will not be able to completely brush all this aside. This is now public knowledge about in all the captains, even if they were not surprised by it, they're definitely against that kind of sense. So yeah, Naon doesn't have to worry about it, and Yuki now feels like he should do something to get them to vote for Kyoka. But what can he do? But then he gets some kind of epiphany about what he could do, and yeah, I don't really know what he's planning here. I mean, you could say that maybe he's gonna use his slave ability to make them all wanna vote for Kyoka, but I would kind of feel like an underhanded win, something that Kyoka would not really want. You could say that I've seen some people saying that Yuki would reveal the fact they have the gods, he can talk to the gods, but depending on how that is revealed, it could also lose Kyoka's supporters. I guess it's a risky gamble, but unnecessary one. But I really do feel like it has to be thought through and thought of by everyone involved to know, are we confident about revealing the fact that there are gods inside of Yuki? Would that really be enough to help them? Which, when you really break it down, this is essentially saying, that we can communicate with them in a free way, but that's about all they can. So I don't really know. It could just be a non nothing burger because like remember like there's a lot of chapters that are kind of like, oh, this is a big thing. Oh, what is going on? But it's or is it an actual big thing, or is it just going to be like a way over dramatized simple plot point? It's kind of like the same thing as Fumika's and Ran being compared to one another. Like, is there supposed to be like a big thing, a significant thing for later, or is it just something to waste time on? But yeah, anyways, Yuki has a plan, and we have to wait until next week to see what it is. So yeah, that's it for Chain Soldier. As now we had to read Dragon, chapter 25, titled "This was this always on the menu?" In case you think that we've just been through in the sports festival, no, it's just a different menu. So, anyways, we start this chapter off with Rui coming to everyone asking about her horns. Horns, if they're looking weird, or everyone just kind of mocking and saying, yeah, they always looked weird. I don't know what's so special about now, but it's revealed that Rui is referring to their new shape because they look a bit different. So yeah, but she's afraid they look different. Where they everyone being like, yeah, they do actually look different. So should we? You should probably go to the inspector sensei since he's the one who's supposed to be in charge of you. So if there's something off about your horns, then it's his job to tell you what it is. Which Ray does go to him, and he tells her. Well, first of all, they need to work on how she's gonna refer to him, since she wants to kind of refer to him by all of his ranks. But all that really matters is that he gives her information about the horns. So he just tells her, "Oh, nothing. You see, horns actually do change based on their mood. So you having a different shaped horns just means you're in a high spirits right now because of the culture festival. If anything, it's a good side that you're so happy and pleased about everything because it's kind of like because it means everything's going well. There's nothing to worry about." Which does make me wonder what mood you have to be when you're in extreme depression or something like that. But who's to say? Uh, but regardless, that kind of disappoints me really because you're like, my haunch just means that I'm essentially just very happy about the sports festival and that everything's progressing as it should. That's really about it. Which then just has everyone on the committee just started laughing because that's a really ridiculous thing. Like, so let me get this straight. You getting new horns essentially just means that you're in a good mood. There's some reference about her physical capabilities, which that might come into play. I do feel like that Yuri is kind of slowly becoming more and more physically strong because, like, remember, like how she carried like a bunch of things that were like a lot, something that you wouldn't really think, something that's very heavy, and you probably should do it with someone else, or at least you'd be extremely exhausted from it, but Rui has been able to like carry move around without any issue. So there's like a bit of a positivity about that. So yeah. Anyways, after the little laughter, we got to the outside of school as we have someone looking. Well, everything is kind of being cheery, and we get to this person later. It's not a dragon. I thought it was supposed to be like a dragon, but it's not. Some human changing dragon or something like that. But yeah, anyways, we then cut to basically the speeches, the generic. Oh, we are starting a sports festival. Everyone have your time. We are thankful that we were able to have a beautiful day because we almost had to cancel it and blah 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 blah. All that boring speech. And I even think the characters in the crowd are kind of like bored at it. Okay, can we get around that generic speech thing? Can we please move out? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Blah 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 blah. But the main point about this is that now the speech from the committee members is supposed to, or representations from the committee are supposed to come and make their speech. The only issue is that the one that's supposed to make the speech is Nakamura, the girl that is so scared that she can't talk. Like the other guy can't talk because of he got sick and all that, but she's just a terrified scared. He got she fun. She could do it to get like a bit more spine, but it did not work. So she's just kind of terrified. Understand a bit as she just kind of moves on. Which Mario then suggests, "Oh, Rory, can you do the speech? Because we clearly need a want to make a speech." So Rory then goes on a speech, and she has like this kind of weird like end of a season type of speech. I may be a dragon, but it doesn't make me interesting. Don't ask me why. I'm weird, but it's myself. But anyways, this is a schools festival, and everyone here is way more talented than I am. So just uh, let's us all just encourage and celebrate the ones who are actually, gonna be participating. I'm literally just gonna be staying around for this portion onward. So yeah, it's a nice little speech and a very cute one. And it actually kind of make me wonder, like, is this series already being canceled or something? But I don't really know. It doesn't seem so to be the case, but whatever. It's just about. I'm guessing it's like one of those like end of the season type of speeches. Not right at the end, but just something to like start the final portion of the season, kind of things up. So yeah, it's just a little speech there. As then we have Ruri meeting up with her classmates, well, namely Ari and some of the other ones, as they're kind of like, oh my, you should make a good speech with Ari also saying that Nakamura girl was also cute and all that. So they were just like, genuinely blabbering on until Ari's sister, the girl that she has actually been in the story beforehand, like when they were having their like little study session, we had Ari's sister be mentioned, and we also had like her on a tiny bubble where she's like uh, tiny bubble where she's like, oh, you are all when she was picking them up. I don't think that's I think the only times that we've actually seen her to know, but yeah, she's the one that was supposed to have been at the beginning of the chapter, and she's kind of like, I'm not gonna say a bad older sister, but she's more of a, kind of disinterested about all this, and also being kind of like, oh, you high schoolers, when I was this age, oh, this was so fun. Because she's kind of uninterested about this, which Ari kind of gets angry with her sister being like, why'd you even come here? And she tells, because Mara told me to come because she's now busy, but I'm also busy, so let's just get over this. Our sister is also like very like, I literally just woke up and got here. Please, I hope this gets over with quickly. So yeah, they are basically just, she's there to support her sister, which is also the case for Rui's mother, because we do see Rui's mother in the sentence as well. Well, because when she was making that speech, she was also kind of looking at her daughter very happily. So yeah, I guess those two are probably gonna have to do some stuff during the cheering process. But yeah, anyways, as they are ending their conversation, they announce that the competition is gonna start with like two boys kind of starting their real rivalry. As one of the boys tells the other boy, I think we've seen one of the boys before, and like I think it's like one of those people that was on a little bowling competition or something that Rui had with her when she was trying to get the energy out of her electricity. So yeah, we then have them saying, "Oh, I'll take this time. I'll get my payback on you." As the guy doing their stretching exercises with the other guy just being kind of confused. What the hell are you talking about? I guess that's still gonna be like the two male friends who are like sorta in the friend group with the characters, but are not in the friend group with the characters because they barely really get interact with other girls. But whatever. So yeah, anyway, that's it for that walk. And then we get to the penultimate chapter of the week with that walk chapter 18 titled "The Slime versus the Nine-Tailed Fox." So yeah. Anyways, we start this chapter off with a bit of a recap about the tournament and the rules and all that type of stuff, which I think is like the third chapter in a row to explain these rules. But it's a monthly manga, so you could probably argue that maybe people will just forget about how it operates. Personally, I would be more focused on the chapter art because this chapter the artwork is very it definitely feels like it's like one of those chapter arts that's going to look way better in the volume release than the actual chapter itself, because it's just like there's a lot of like little weird lines and all that type of stuff. But whatever, whatever on that side of things. So yeah. Anyways, after the little recap, we then have the little setup being, oh, Yakuto is going to have to fight his friend Frey in the final match. Well, in the final match before God, if they both keep winning their rounds. So yeah, Yakuto is a little bit nervous about that because he doesn't want to kill his friend, but he has to kill his friend. This series is like one of those series that's actually much, there's at least more credibility to that word than not. After all, this is a series that killed one of the characters off previously, which is kind of like reminding us in this chapter as well, because we have like a little conversation that seems to be just there to remind us one of the class did actually die already, being here. So yeah. Anyways, then we have class F meeting up and being kind of like, great job, Yakuto, you really were brutal in that fight against the guy. Which I would be like, yeah, but I didn't mean to be so brutal. I guess it's time that we cheer up for Faye. As they're like, but my round isn't for 2 more rounds. Yeah, but we might as well already be preparing to cheer. With as then we have the announcement of Setsuna and Virgil's fights as we then cut to the class 1F having their little like banter before Setsuna and Virgo start fighting with being like, oh, so Virgo is a very kind of giving us an idea how powerful Virgo is, because Virgo being a second year is actually a very big thing, since only 30% of first years are actually likely to survive their years and be able to, make it to the second year. So so the older you are in school, the more dangerous you are. I believe the lion guy that was Hien's friend was a second year, so he was extremely dangerous and powerful. And Ares, the guy that possessed Yakuto to knock himself out, was like third year. So the higher that class is, the older you are, the stronger you are because you survived 2 years, which makes you essentially the strongest. So, which essentially just means that, which that makes me think that the third years are actually just one class, because there's just that many students, only that low number of students left. Like there's like 20 students out of the entire first years remaining, which is, kind of important. Which is kind of, I mean, to be fair, we know a lot of students died, because I think in the beginning of the story there was like 550 something or whatever, or maybe it was 666. I don't know. It was like a big number, over 100 students. But then from that big number, only only the characters that we've seen in the class survived, except for one who snuck off and just remained down there. So yeah, and then we have also the fact that another class was completely destroyed. The ones who just got there in there for nepotism's sake. So yeah, there's like a lot of students. So yeah, students dying a lot of times is very normal. It's more, did you kill an entire class? That's where the issues more rife. So yeah, we have a little bit of banter about that, as well as Hien being much about how everyone in the class is gonna survive, but Hien has already died, but Choco doesn't want anyone to die. So yeah, they have their little talk right now. But then the fight properly begins with Setsuna. There's also like a comment about Setsuna being very popular, with Mikoto saying, yeah, she's truly is like beauty. So this guy, I really am starting to feel like this guy's supposed to be like into both, a Yuri type of girl, or maybe into both at least, because I don't know. I just feel like how always commenting about how beautiful a woman is. You just feels like intentional at this point, but whatever. So then we have the fight commencing as Setsuna first uses some kind of fire ability against Virgo, but Virgo just states, oh, he can absorb fire because he's a slime, so he then just goes with that fire that she sent at him towards her. She then, is that he like covers her with fire, thinking, oh, you'll be killed by your own flames kind of deal. But Setsuna just which caused a little bit of panic amongst the fans, but then Setsuna just using his power to get away from the fire. Her clothes still get burned, but she is able to easily not get killed. What Virgo was thinking that she would get killed, but then Setsuna reveals that her ability isn't just fire; it's soul. So she then just starts using some kind of soul flame ability against Virgil, which starts burning him up because he has a soul. So yeah, I kind of thought that's when I was a Medusa at first, but I guess she's supposed to be a fox. Which I don't know if it was stated that she was a nine-tailed fox beforehand. I think they kept it in big. I think it was like kept in bigger. It's like I know some were revealed, but I'm not entirely certain about. But I think she was kept in bigger, and as well as Vega. I think these two were actually kept in bigger at the beginning of what they actually were. But regardless, Setsuna is a nine-tailed fox, so she just uses her soul flame to burn Virgo, and Virgo gets like a light flashing before his eyes as he's starting to get burned by Setsuna's flames, revealing that the guy was just a normal kid who wanted to have a girlfriend that's not a slime. So he got into that rock to get his girlfriend, but unfortunately for him, he fought Setsuna in this instance and he lost and died. So yeah, he never got his girlfriend. He just thought that Setsuna was that cute before he died. So yeah, Virgo just starts bawling and is burned to, well, his soul gets burned to a point he's just reduced to slime. Well, his body loses shape, so he's just a pile of slime on the floor. And Setsuna saying, "Oh, didn't you say you were going to absorb my flames?" But because it was a burnt soul, he couldn't absorb it. And that's it for the fight. And if you're thinking, "Oh, this fight's really quickly," well, you haven't seen the entire chapter. Like this is at most like halfway through the chapter. But something too important to mention is that when Setsuna burned Virgo, she says, "Yuri, just wait a little bit longer. I'm this close to God." So Setsuna has some kind of conflict with God as well. I'm guessing this is gonna be like a bit more of a more impactful dramatic battle between her and Yakuto, who is going to kill Setsuna, but as she's dying, she asks him to kill God for her, essentially. If he won there, I mean, he has better chance than her in beating God, but at least beat him, so her sister's will can be like called, can be win or something. Either that, maybe it's gonna be like a thing where Yuri is this Yuri girl is supposed to have been enslaved by God and is like a broken pan or something, and she wanted to free her by getting that wish or something. But well, okay, actually the reward is just talking with God, but I do have to question what the actual like. But what is that guy you're going to talk with God for? But anyways, I guess it's supposed to be like Yuki being someone who has the same goals as he does, and just carry on her will something. But yeah, anyways, as we have Setsuna's victory, we then go to Lloyd and Edgy, the guy who was Desta's right rival. That he Yukito said, "Oh, you'll be killed next." As then we have the fight announced and start, but Edgy is not really focused on his opponent. He's just like staring daggers at Yakuto, which is referred to by Yakuto's class. Like, well, anyone else like, what is Edgy stupid that he's focused on someone else right now? As anyone else is like, if looks could kill, well, I may have acted him out a little too much. I told him he was gonna be killed next, so yeah, no one is staring daggers at you right now. So yeah, Yakuto's like you kind of got caught up. It seems to imply that Yakuto kind of got caught up in the moment when he was telling Eiji, "Oh, you'll be killed next." But anyways, back to the no diff. I mean the fight with Lloyd wanting to go up again and saying, "Oh, you fool! How dare you stop focusing on me," as he goes to like clash him, but Edgy just transforms into a werewolf that has like diamond spikes on his elbows and just cuts I and just cuts Lloyd down with like one or two strikes to like show how powerful he is, to kind of, not only is he stronger than Dust, he's also able to defeat another student to make it into the final eight with just in a couple of seconds. So yeah, also the transformation to a werewolf is meant to be like a significant because it's like a similar type of power as Yakuto has. So these two are kind of being set up to fight, which now makes me think that it doesn't matter who Lawson or between Lawson and Faye wins, whoever's gonna win is going to fight Edgy, and Edgy is going to beat them. So it's gonna be Yakuto versus Edgy. Either that, or maybe we just have Lawson beat Faye and then beat Edgy, and him being the final opponent for Yakuto. But anyways, we're gonna have to wait and see. So yeah, Edgy established himself as like Yakuto's rival, but we have to see how this fight is going to involve. Because there's a possibility there might be some kind of interruption or something in between that. Because I don't know, do I have to talk about there has to be a way for them all both to survive or something, but we don't really know what they're referring to unless they like I mean, I guess maybe you could say that Freya would be so injured after her fight against Lausen that it wouldn't really make much sense for there even to be a next round. It's kind of like how in Squid Games there was like an uneven number of players at third or fourth game. I don't know. I'm not really a big Squid Game fan or even a big watcher. But I think one of the rounds I did see, I think it was when it was like a marble game and one there was an they needed a duo, but one was uneven. Everyone there thought that she was gonna get killed if it's uneven, but all they really did was like back into the back into your sleeping quarters. I mean, yeah, you have no partner, but we can't really do anything about that. Just go sleep. You're just an unlikable loser. Who gives a shit? So essentially, it was like one of those like reviews. It's like if I just left the old guy, if I simply didn't pick the old man, I would have he would have lived. I literally had him die for nothing. So it's like kind of that situation. So maybe it's like kind of be like one of those scenarios where it's like it's not even worth it. Or like Lloyd in Ninjago in the new in season two, part two of season two in Dragon's Rising, where he was so fucking hurt that the idea of a battle was really just like forcing an already like barely moving opponent, already extremely damaged opponent because like I mean, granted, there was some machinations behind the scenes, but the guy is literally on his. The guy was literally the guy was skeptical he could even like properly enter the arena, like even if he could wake up. But now he's literally by now he's supposed to be in a serious fight against an opponent who literally wins all of his matches by just brutally stomping until he's like literally forced to win in the proper by the rules manner. So yeah, there could be something like that, but so far as we know, it's not going to happen. But anyways, we'll see on that how the fights are going to progress later on. Because right now we have to get to the main, like the final round, which is Frey versus Lausen, which some of the commentators will be like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be another like extremely one-sided match." Which think about it, like all four of the rounds were gonna be extremely one-sided. Like Yakuto was like, okay, like there was some kind of counter fight being from Dust, but it wasn't really anything major. Then you have, but you could was a very clear winner. Setsuna versus Virgo again was like a little bit of a counter fight, but Setsuna very quickly defeated him as well. Angie was just a one-sided stomp, like there's no debate there. And now it's Laos versus Frey that should really be a definitive like one-sided stomp. Like maybe some of the third years you could say could give Laos a fight, but now it's one of the four demon teachers, aka one of the five strongest people, versus a student who's a first year. So very clear it's supposed to be kind of very clear Freya as the underdog there. But anyways, they do the announcements with Freya being next, and as Freya enters the arena, then Lauzens gets introduced as it's like there are the four demon teachers, or technically three now, but one of the four demon teachers is Lauzen, as Lauzen enters with a bunch of corpses of the students being like a marching band and all that. So I'm going to assume that Lauzen just was going around killing students and turning them into his new zombies, because I believe it was said that all of Lauzen's zombies were destroyed or killed when they were fighting him when they were in his Colosseum previously. So now I guess was just recovering the corpses. We just happened to end with him also just getting a bunch of with him getting just a bunch getting a bunch being able to enter the tournament. Or, which I'm guessing is also gonna be like a big thing about how many students he killed doing that, but whatever. We're gonna see what Laws is up to next. And yeah, and that makes a little comment about Lawson basically being trying to steal the spotlight all the time, because he's on top of like a marching band of that students' corpses. It's like yeah, I'm amazing, fight. So yeah, that's basically what Lawson is doing right now. But yeah, anyways, and that's where we end that's where we end the chapter, and we have to hope the next month the artwork is gonna be a little bit better, but whatever. whatever. We have to wait and see for Lausen versus Freya and see if this is gonna be like a long fight or just a short fight. But yeah. Anyways, now on to the final chapter of the week where it's time. Well, Time Stop Hero chapter 51, White Knight and Stop. I would call it recap and stop, but we can't be this obvious. So yeah, it's been a while since we actually had a time stop hero chapter. Like I know the English dubs, well, series that are monthly and are English translated are actually very take some time, but still, I feel like it's been like 2 or 3 months since the last chapter, but whatever. Because this chapter is mostly just kind of recapping a lot of the events of the story. I mean, we're talking about stuff that happened for over 10 volumes ago. But yeah, anyway, so we start this chapter off with Nino and Fury entering the kingdom. They were in the beginning of the story, the one that had that like princess and that was being attacked by that slime creature and all that. Yeah, we basically have that kingdom. We go to that kingdom as we have like a little recap of who these characters were because because again like I think if I remember correctly, okay, the elf arc is like I want to say 4 volumes long, which is like a lot of time, and also the arc did not contain all of the characters. Like Fury was in the story, but she was also kind of more of a side piece in the story, and that wasn't more the current Fury. It was past Fury, so she's kind of like we know of her, but Nina, we didn't have her in the story so long, so you probably would need to be recapped, like her being a thief and all that. So yeah, we get like a little exposition, like, oh, she worked as a thief here. She was kind of like a Robin Hood thief, and she was captured once in prison, but then Sekai vouched for her to be free, which also included her, which was mostly just her already being escaped, but it was essentially just an extra thing, like you're not longer hunted essentially, and then the two of them just became a pair. So we have a bit of a recap on that side of things, as then we have. I'm wondering if they're even gonna be let in. I mean, Sekai was the brave hero, but they're just his bodies, and without him, so would they even be allowed? But fortunately, one of the princess's uh, team's bodies members named Kali, who I don't think has actually been named in this chapter because I think previously she was literally just a side piece, someone to be stripped naked by Sekai and slime creature. So we didn't so it doesn't really matter at that point, but whatever. We have her appearing and telling her, oh yeah, you're allowed to. We've actually had already kind of prepared the information and we're kind of already up to date, which is because one of their members, another one who's a mage named Yelda. I'm not the one that, and the guy, the gag, the bimbo from the princess's body has actually already informed them about the whole. Well, she got informed by one of the witches, the Ice Witch, about Brave and Sekka and all that type of stuff. So they were aware of it and they communicated. Also, there's like a bit of a they don't. There's some few people that communicate with each other. They are a bit more like spurring the beans a lot whenever they are communicating. So she revealed all that information. Probably more of a as a side note, but probably intentionally as well. But whatever. I mean, she did say that she was going to reveal everything. Yeah, she just couldn't do anything, but whatever. So, yes. Anyways, Kali just takes Nino and Fury to the princess, who is already preparing to leave and is already committed to helping Sekai. So they don't need to now they worry about if they're even going to be able to talk to them, but now they're already on the way. Probably because we need to recap a lot of the events for these two kingdoms that happened, and we also need its own story because I imagine it's like more of a side effect from having a monthly release. Yes, the artwork is going to be better. Yes, the chapters are going to be longer. But if you have a situation like this, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be forgotten. Characters who haven't appeared in literal years, having their reintroductions will require some recap and some pre-information. And this isn't even the first time it's being done, so they need to kind of, get things through quickly. Like, recap, but also get things away, so it's best to just have, alright, everyone already was aware of everything, they're already deciding on things, it's just like the very basic personality tropes. So yeah, Princess is ready to go and says that she would take more people with them. The only issue is that that her brother, the prince, is going up against is fighting against the darklings on the other side of the island. So they need to. So they are currently without like many help. Like essentially, the military is split between three sides. One side is with her brother that is dealing with the dark army and devils, whatever you want to call them. One army needs to stay in the kingdom to protect it because it's already been like strained. So the only people that they can use are princess and her party, and even that party is kind of being restricted because the mage of the princess's party, Yelda, it doesn't want to go up against the magic council. Like she doesn't want to get under their bad side by helping free someone they locked up essentially. So she requests that she's allowed to not participate, which Bridges understands. She's probably like, yeah, the reputation. I don't like the fact that you're not going with us, but if you say so, I'm going to have to go with this because again, like they can't really complicate things, and also they are going to need someone else to travel there anyways, since apparently only the highest tiers of mages actually are able to make portals to travel to there, to that location. So yeah, anyways, which means that they need to, uh, which means now they have to travel to another witch to teleport them there. But who would they really be able to use? Since if Yellow didn't want to do it, and the three witches from the probably aren't going to do it either, the only option really is then to use Lovisa, which they do mention Lovisa again, as they go into a little bit of a traveling to her like a week's worth of travel, as then which they enter the kingdom and they ask, "Oh, was this a their battlefield here?" As they explained that yes, they were darkness links here and they were invading the castle. They were almost, they even their dark lord made a semi presence or made his presence known. So they are very much in a rebuilding stage. So we'll probably not be able to get more help than just the portal either. Which is also a little joke because you know that like the thing that Sekai like trapped Zaraza there, and when they were like trying to force them to surrender and all that. Yeah, that's still there, which feels kind of like embarrassed to talk about it. That's right, we defeated. One of the ways we defeated the army was by taking their general, stripping him on that plus, and sexually assaulting her until they just decide to stop their conflict. So, yeah. She's kind of embarrassed on that, especially since Zazera did state that she had an orgasm. This series. Sometimes I really don't know why my this series really is just a gift that keeps on getting. So yeah, they don't mention it, but they are just you can tell they again. There's a little bit of a recap as then they come to Lovisa and the king, and they're all. They again get informed of this. Lovisa explains, yeah, you'll explain to her the situation, but she cannot go against the witch's magic council. But then the king says, yes, she can. You should help. So Lovisa's like, fine, if the king demands. So Lovisa is a very submissive. Well, is very following the king's orders. She probably herself wanted to help, but she can't really in this instance but she's not she's kind of in a helpless situation right now, so she just is like, yes, I'll follow the king. I mean, I can't go up against my king. You know what, you have to follow. I mean, as his right hand, it's my job to follow his orders. But Lovisa also mentions that she will not be able to teleport them directly at the headquarters, because if she does, they'll be able to tell who teleport them, and then she'll get in trouble. So she'll just teleport them in a distance that they can't travel to and get Sekai and all that. So yeah, they are essentially in the. So yeah, their plan is essentially, I will teleport you there. You guys can save him, and then you just have to travel back. And you have an easy time traveling back with Sekai around. So yeah, which this actually does kind of piss off the princess. Like not directly, it's more like while they are waiting for Lovisa to get her refreshing spot at the time, And she's like, what the fuck is up with these witches all being so fucking scared of this magic council? I know it's like their highest view of authority, but this is just getting ridiculous with everyone not wanting to participate, everyone wanting to go through such convoluted means to get to them. They even want to help because they are grateful and everything, but they are so terrified they can't even do anything. Which is kind of explained that it's because like the magic council is like very like you can have your feelings about them, but the magic council is like extremely powerful. Like they were prosecuted in the past, but now they've gained so much power they can operate as an independent body. Not to mention that a lot of the world now relies on magic. While they're still warriors, the mages are still required. Like every party needs a mage, and all the mages come from the witches' council and all that. So a lot of them are so there's a lot of beneficial from them. Make it as well like so they are very independent, so they're a very powerful independent body, meaning that they can have their own means and there are other things to worry about. This is like a little bit of an explanation that yes, a lot of like the groups are their own independent bodies outside the kingdom, like the clerics are independent, the elves are independent, the witches are independent, like a lot of those like separate entities that could have their own kind of complications. In this instance, it doesn't really matter because there's no reason why the elves would get in conflict with the witches, and there's no reason why clerics would get in conflict with witches, so they don't have to worry about it as much, but to every other witch, it's gonna be more of an issue. But yeah, anyways, after Larissa gets her spa day, she opens the portal for the girls and everyone to get out of it as they are in I think it's said to be a week, so a day's worth of travel to the main place they're planning to go. But as soon as they leave, they see a bunch of monsters. I think like Yetis or Bigfoots showing up and attacking them. We get a little action scene from them by blasting and cutting, which is now kind of shows us kind of the reason to kind of remind us that this world is supposed to have like a lot of beasts, a lot of like conflicts. But they kept saying, "Oh, because of Sekai, we never had to worry because he just time stopped, cut all of their heads, and then like started time again, so it didn't really matter neither." Which is kind of supposed to show how much he means, and kind of reinterrogate like, yes, he's a pervert who constantly strips women, but he's necessary. He helped them a lot. It's not like he doesn't deserve their gratitude. So this resolves them all to save Sekai again as a reminder because whatever he's done for them. And then we cut to as then we have the leak. We have one of the members to the league informing the Witch Queen about we find out there's a portal that was made by a witch, but we can't figure out who it was. We just know it was like done a week's or a day's worth of journey away from the league's location, which the witch is like, that's peculiar. Why would someone open a portal that's so far away from the league in a way that would make us unable to know who they are? How curious. So the witches are aware that the main group are here, or that there is someone who wants to do something that they shouldn't be doing. So yeah, they are. I mean, we just see the picture of Sekai being time frozen, but that's about it. So they are not seem to be aware that they are here to save Sekai, but they are pretty much safe to say they are aware that alright, there is someone that's trying to do something that they don't want the league finding out about. So it's a tension scene for the end of the chapter. So yeah, all in all, this is a chapter. I mean, it's just a recap most of the time for the characters because a lot of these characters and places haven't been in the story for like. In most of the volumes are about a 4 to 5 chapter, 4 to 5 if I remember correctly. So about 3. So there would be about 4 months. So it's been like what 4 years since since we've seen any of these characters, maybe 5. Generally speaking, it's a very, 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 very long time since we've seen any of these characters. Not to mention there's also possible breaks in between. So yeah, we probably haven't seen any of these for like half a decade at this point, so it makes sense that we need a bit of a recap, but that's, and as well as a bit of a world building, but that's about it. So anyways, I hope you like this video. I hope you leave your thoughts on these chapters in the comments below. Don't forget to leave your thoughts on these. Don't forget to leave your thoughts on the chapters you've read this week. Also, don't forget about subscribing, being for more videos in the future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you motos next time. Goodbye.